Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Mage the Ascension 20th anniversary rules by Onyx Path Publishing. This actual play is performed by adults and contains adult themes. Our World of Darkness is intended for adults. Listeners should pay close attention to all listed content warnings. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your storyteller. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I am your storyteller this evening, Michael Diamond. My pronouns are he, him, and we are back with another episode of Ascension of Babylon, our Mage the Ascension Chronicle. We'd like to thank you for joining us and listening, and especially those of you who are out there supporting us via Patreon. We appreciate everything you do for the show, and we can't say thank you enough, so we'll just keep saying it. If you'd like, you can join those folks over on Patreon, get exclusives, and get episodes ahead of time by joining us at patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast. Jump over to YouTube and join over 1,000 subscribers there and all of the hijinks that we get up to, and many more fun things ahead. And now we'll get to introductions, which will begin to my right.
Hi, I'm Allie, and I play Kayleigh Hannah Godfrey, and I prayed to what I think is a new deity for me to believe in.
The deity of self. Very interesting. And next to Kayleigh.
This is Lecco playing Dante Maxim Vargas Bailey, newly recruited showstopper and bottle popper, making the hard choices for his family.
Yes, the bottles are about to pop at the end of the table.
This is Jake, and I'll be playing Oliver Devereaux, and I have met some new friends with a beautiful new library, and I'm enjoying it here.
You know, Oliver, really, it's all been pretty much roses for you after fleeing your apartment, after being pursued by the police. You've now met some wonderful folks who are going to help deconstruct your reality and construct you a new one, and they've even given you a place to stay. You can't beat that. It's front door service, right?
Right.
Last but most certainly not least.
Hi, this is James, and I'll be playing Adam Harrison. And, I think maybe I have some retail therapy for Adam today.
Well, I look forward to that. Retail therapy is always a way to process trauma. Maybe not a good way, but it's always there, thanks to this dystopian capitalist society we live in. And now we'll raise the curtain, and we'll look in on the morning of Tuesday, September 26th. 2023 in Las Vegas, and we are going to stare down at a somewhat nondescript house, condo. You're not sure, 4-flat maybe. You didn't really check it out very much, Oliver. You just kind of whisked in the door and palled around a little bit with some of the books that are here, checked the fridge to make sure that it actually did have food, and seemingly enough, managed to eat and relax for the rest of the day. The morning, however, starts bright and early. About 6 a.m., actually scratch that, at exactly 6 a.m., on the dot, there is a cacophony of sound that begins in the kitchen, and it wakes you from a dead sleep in the bedroom that you're in. The bedroom and the house, just so we have a frame of reference, is fairly reasonably appointed. Bookshelves, couches, chairs. There's no television here. There's an old 50s sort of style radio that sits in the kitchen and only plays show tunes. You're not sure what that's about. But the bed is comfortable. This is a mid-century modern styling of all of the furniture. And you are woken from that dead sleep by what sounds like a grandfather clock tolling from somewhere in the abode.
Oh my God, what is that?
Good morning, you hear a voice.
What time is it?
It's 6 a.m.
What's going on? 6 a.m.?
Yes, sir. 6
Are you
a.m.
out of your
23 seconds.
mind?
I don't have a mind to speak of. If you'd like to shut the alarm off, you're going to need to get up and go into the kitchen.
Why is the alarm in the kitchen?
To get you out of...
Who are you?
Oh, me? I'm Jonathan, sir. I'm the house custos. You hear from the other side of the door.
The house what?
I'm an assistant. People sometimes refer to me as a butler. That's not my job, but I'm an assistant for the house. I help keep things in order. I help make sure that you play by the rules and that everything is safe.
Okay. All right. Fine. I'll turn the alarm off. Can't believe it wakes me up at crack of Christ.
You go out into the hallway, and there is a 25, maybe late 20s young man there in a vest, tie, button-up shirt. Looks like he could have been a dealer at a craps table, like maybe a few hours ago. The vest isn't flashy. It's black. There's a pyramidal pattern that runs on the left and the right-hand side. And he gestures towards the kitchen. Right this way, sir.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
You guys walk through the house. Eventually hook left and go into the kitchen, which is very 50s in its shape and its space. So a lot of combo appliances, a lot of space-saving techniques. The fridge is sort of seafoam green, as is the range and the oven. At the edge of this kitchen, there's a place to sit and eat. And on the other side of that, there is a grandfather clock. Beautiful, probably 1920, 1930s style grandfather clock. And it has craftsman touches to it that meld it into the side of the walls here. It sort of melds there into the wall. And there's a panel on the front of it, which has a bunch of dials and clockwork instrumentation.
Okay. How do I turn this thing off?
That's a great question, you hear Jonathan say. So the way this works is it's a puzzle. It changes every day. And it's made that way so that way you have something to work on, like an enigma, a question, a fun little puzzle to start your day. The grandfather clock begins to wind up another series of alarm noises.
There is absolutely nothing fun about this.
I don't make the rules, unfortunately. I'm just here to let you know how it goes.
All right, let me try to figure that.
Okay, so Jake, for you, the player, this is a Wits Enigmas roll, or if you have a secondary skill which might deal with puzzles or that sort of thing.
Okay, I got 3 wits and 1 enigmas.
Yeah, roll 4 dice, target number 7.
2 successes.
More than enough to get it completed. So you figure out a circuit that needs to be completed, and you turn both clockwise and counterclockwise portions to get the number sequence down. So there's a series of numbers within this row that you have to complete, and then it allows a sort of handle to become depressed, and that pushes into the clock and allows it to shut off finally. And there's this exhale from Jonathan in the room. Well, you're way ahead. You're way ahead of the last recruit. Way ahead.
What are you sighing about? You didn't do anything.
I'm sighing because the last recruit took 25 minutes for it to shut off.
I'm sorry, I'm just naturally talented.
Don't apologize. Would you like some breakfast?
That would be wonderful.
Okay. What would you like?
Cereal?
Sure. He steps over and reaches into the cupboard and takes out 3 distinctly different types of cereal. So one that is more of a heavy grain and bran, and then there's of course like the standard prototypical cornflakes, and then the third one is basically the absolute Saturday morning garbage cereal that any children would want.
That's the one.
Okay. He sets it aside. He gets out what is basically a small mixing bowl, fills it with cereal and then milk, and then hands it to you.
Wonderful.
So you've got about 35 minutes or so before we have to leave.
So take a shower, get dressed.
I mean, I'd suggest it. I'll be here.
Yeah, okay. We ready to go?
You eat, shower, get dressed. Some time passes, and he's ready and waiting, and he picks up a briefcase on the just next to one of the armchairs here, and he hands it to you.
Okay.
There's your briefcase. Enjoy. He walks you out of the house and into a car. The car is a probably 80s late model 4-door sedan. It's probably seen better days, but it's effective. And he drives you towards the library. I'll get back to you in a second. So, Adam, a lot of ways to do therapy. It's Tuesday. It's not a day you work, at least not until the evening. So I guess, how are you spending your Tuesday morning whenever that starts?
Well, Adam wakes up probably at dawn, as that's been kind of, that routine has been set into him at this point. Does his workout, goes for a run, cleans himself up, and then, since he's got a few hours before he has to go to work, I think he's going to go and he's been out of jail now for a little while, and this new thing he's discovering about himself is a pretty big change, so he's going to celebrate that. He's going to go get himself some tattoos, or at least one good one, a new one.
Okay. One good tattoo.
Yeah.
Okay. Any particular place you're going to get it?
Since he hasn't been in Vegas for a while, he's gonna cruise some. He's gonna look up a few of them online on his phone and go to a couple of the shops and cruise for a while. He's gonna shop. He's done this before, and each time he goes through something big in his life, he gets a new tattoo. So this one is also going to be something big. So he's gonna shop around a little bit. He's not buying the first car, so to speak.
Okay. So there's a couple places relatively close to Echo Park. One of them is Mystical Ink Tattoo and Piercing. They're 4.8 out of 5 stars, 193 rating. They don't open for a little while. They don't open till noon.
Adam chuckles about the serendipity of Mystical Ink, so he decides that is indeed. He looks up some of the other ones, I'm sure, Nightmare Studios, but I think Mystical Ink probably catches his eye. So he outlines that one and sends them a message on their site to make an appointment.
Okay. It's still a little bit early, but you're hoping that they'll get back with you today. So we'll leave you for the moment then anyway, just eating breakfast and getting your workouts in and planning your day.
Planning my day, reading my book about expanding my horizons.
Certainly. Expanding your horizons. You're reading the Salvatore book?
Yeah, I'm reading the Salvatore book, and I'm reading my self-help about visualization and reaching out for what you want. Certainly.
Okay. So Dante, you had a really, really, really big night last night.
I did.
Culminated in an exclusivity deal. So you were exclusively, now your services are being retained. I guess, how are you processing all that?
So after busting in my own door like a damn home invasion, I run into the kitchen and circle up a bunch of glasses and mugs, whatever we have, and summon all of my siblings with like an ear-piercing, teeth-blasting whistle.
Okay, so I would just say respectfully, Dante does not have a short list of siblings.
Well, there's only 3 staying there. Jared's on campus, but there is a child there. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you have, if memory serves correctly, then Calliope, Estella, and Marcos, yes?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Now, Miguel is also there.
Yes, Miguelito is there and is likely awake now, if he wasn't before.
Yeah, no, totally awake. You come home and start making noise, which is normally enough to wake and get Miguelito by your side, but this is totally different. Clearly, Estella is just beside herself that you've done this. She comes out and she's like, what is going on? What are you doing? What is happening?
I shoot the cork at her.
Ah! We'll say that she ducks.
That's fine. I don't care if I break anything.
It doesn't break anything, but it does put a divot in the wall. I mean, if you've had any experiences with champagne bottles, the corks are definitely under pressure.
Yeah. So, and I make I put the glasses out. It's probably like one mug and like a coffee mug and like a plastic diner cup. And yeah, I don't drink it. So I pour 3 glasses and just kind of leave the bottle on the table. I say, I need everybody to sit down for a minute. I have an announcement to make and it's super, super important. Okay.
Where's mine? Miguel asks. Which one's mine?
I will reach into the fridge and grab a juice box.
Hey, great.
Now look, I couldn't imagine this happening today, but I got picked up by a talent scout today who wants me to play a lead role in a big show around the Sphere opening. Not at the Sphere, but around the opening. And they want to represent me after, if it goes well. What that means is everything is going to be okay. Now I'm going to have to go away for a couple months to train and practice and put my best foot forward. So I'm gonna need all of you to stand up. And when I say all of you, I don't point to Calliope.
Well, no.
I'm gonna need all of you to stand up and take some damn control of your lives if you don't want to be the butt of Fabian's jokes for the rest of your time on this earth. This is how it's gonna go, okay? First things first, we're getting out of this shithole. And I'm gonna kick like the door under the sink. I'll just cave it in. Out of this shithole apartment, and you're moving to Westgate. Yes, the burbs. And no, this is not up for debate. Miguel starts school next year. I want him to be in a safe neighborhood with a good school. So you're going to the burbs. We'll also need to get a car. So Marcos, I need you to legally get us a minivan. And you're going to make sure everybody goes where they need to go, okay? That's your job now.
He's like half awake.
You drive for us. I pound the table. You drive for your family.
Okay. Sure, I'll get a van.
Estella's going to run the house. And your number one priority is taking care of Miguel. That means reading, writing, setting him up to do well, okay? That means you stay the fuck out of the casinos. And you stay the fuck out of jail. Calliope is going to handle the finances and will not hesitate to rat your asses out if anything goes sideways. And I won't be far. Calliope Westgate is only 8 minutes away from UNLV, so you should have no problem getting to and from school.
You hear Estella pipe up and she says, so when did you start wearing the big pants?
Ever since I've been paying the rent. So I don't know, the past year and a half. You got any other stupid questions?
Yeah, where's the money coming from?
I just told you I got a damn job. I signed the contract. I pulled this bottle out of the Escalade that I signed it in.
You get a high eyebrow from Marcos.
It was free.
Champagne is rarely free, Estella says.
I signed a 2-month exclusive deal. That means no Cirque. That means no Chippendales. Full-time training and practice for me for the next 2 months at least. Jared's on campus. We'll make sure the place that we get has a room for when he gets home. But this is how this is going to go. You don't want to move to Westgate? You're going to figure something else out. This is our chance to do this right and get out of this place. Are you in?
Marcos looks around and he's like, you get no argument from me, man. This place is a shithole. Everybody knows that. But, Westgate's got a different sort of feel to it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's clean. Yeah, you can walk around at night.
I mean, I can walk around at night now.
Okay, they can walk around at night.
All right.
And you, I'm going to kneel down to Miguel. If you keep up on your studies and make sure you're ready for school, I will make sure that they get you a dog.
A dog? What kind of dog? I want a German Shepherd.
Fine. Whatever. But this is the plan. If you got any better ideas, I'm open to it. Otherwise, let's just party. And y'all gonna have to drink this shit, because you know I won't.
They raise their glasses. And juice box.
We got this. To growing up from the kids' table.
Hell yeah. Glasses clink, including, cardboard juice box.
I squeeze it so that it shoots all over the place.
Oh, it's a good moment. They easily deal with the single bottle of champagne, even if it is Dom Perignon, actual champagne. It isn't there for probably more than 20 or 30 minutes in total. But Kayleigh, you overhear a couple of things, right? So you overhear Kayleigh say, like, after you sort of set your bag down and try to get to some of your own space, you hear, "Now you heard him. I don't want any bullshit when it comes to money. I'm in charge. You answer to me." You can hear her voice sort of float over everybody else's.
She's got stage presence. Of course it will.
That said, you're probably fairly exhausted still.
Yeah, it's past my bedtime.
Totally.
And I have nothing but my thoughts to keep me busy. So what I would like to do, I've been spending a lot of kind of energy and time focused on thinking about the people around me and about what they're thinking and what they're feeling. I want to quiet myself.
Okay.
And generally I'm just tired enough to go to bed after like a long day. But I feel like today in particular, I want to sleep perfectly is what I want. I want restful sleep. I want to be my best self in the morning.
Okay. So you're going into your sleep cycle with sort of this intentionality to focus on maximizing your restful state.
Yeah. So I'll supplement a little bit. I'll take a little bit. I'll go into the kitchen and my little, poor man's medicine cabinet, and I'll take some melatonin and some other. I'm like medicinal sleep aids necessarily. I'll do some lavender and some tea and shit.
Should be more than enough, along with melatonin, to get you vibed right. You quickly go off to Drool Land. Yeah, so you would have come home, late at night, early in the morning?
It was right around, it was like just before midnight when I got home, I think.
Yeah, so you'll probably sleep clear till, 10?
Yeah, easily.
Okay. We'll cradle you off to sleep to Dreamland. It's a little different this time around. You sort of feel your body align differently in the bed, and you think about it for a moment, and that thought sort of extends out over several seconds, which feel like several minutes. And you don't really know when the thought ends totally, because consciousness just rips all that apart and you pass out. Okay, Kayleigh, you recently went on a hunt for a skip down in Fremont Street. With the help of Mr. B and some associated skill rolls, you were able to locate and deal with that situation.
Yeah, and I made a pretty penny off it too.
You did. That's what happens when you capture bad guys.
It's true.
So, that being said, Tuesday the 26th, is that a day you're going to choose to do some work? Or given your recent windfall, are you going to potentially investigate any number of threads that you have hold of?
So the first thing that I'm going to do is make sure that my rent is not only current but paid ahead a certain amount, just to make sure that if I have, a gap in payments, that it's all taken care of. I'm sure that I have an arrangement with my landlord that, Because I don't think I own my condo outright.
I wouldn't want to presuppose that you own it, nor would I want to presuppose for this chronicle that you've made any sort of deal. If you're going to make a deal, then it should happen in game.
Oh, fine.
So that way it can be leveraged against you as necessary.
Fine, can I just own my condo?
No.
Dang.
It is the world of darkness after all. We have to meet some specific benchmarks when it comes to that sort of thing. So I'm open to any deal you'd like to make with your landlord, your slumlord, etc.
I don't think I live in the bad part of town.
Oh, all the parts of town are bad. It's okay. Except Westgate, evidently. So at current, out of character, just so y'all are aware, North Vegas, bad. East Vegas, bad. West Vegas, bad. Like, West Vegas especially, like in the shadow of the strip, real bad. So, if you want to pay your rent ahead, you could. You're coming up to the October requirement anyways. This would be a great opportunity for you to make or contact your landlord to make some sort of arrangement with them, unless you want to say that you have signed a lease previously to this, and then you would just be on a normal lease payment month by month.
So in general, I imagine I would have signed a lease, right?
Oh, yeah.
But given an influx and sometimes, maybe I have to pay rent late, that there have been maybe deals struck before. Maybe not all the time or a standing deal, but every once in a while.
I think that your landlord is probably the type of person who's going to want one of two things. Either something in writing or a certain percentage paid over and above what you would normally pay to accept what is essentially a late fee. And maybe the late fee doesn't go on like your credit rating, which is of course a thing, but he takes it because he can put it in his pocket.
So I guess the question is if it's in writing, does it still affect my credit score?
I guess it would depend on whether or not he reports that payment to a credit agency that month, which would totally be his choice to decide. I'm not saying that landlords aren't good people. I'm just explaining how yours works.
Well, then probably I would choose the second option, realistically.
Okay. So occasionally, if you need to make a late payment, you know that the payment is generally 20% in addition. It keeps you from being evicted. And it does make sure that he properly reports it. But you would know for a fact that the 20% extra goes directly into his pocket. And so you were in effect making him rich every time you're late, which he enjoys.
Well, and it's probably just in general a simpler arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, so you're going to pay some rent forward, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Easily done. His office is relatively near the property that you live on. We'll say it's down the block. There are 8 or so of these 4-family condos in this space. So he has essentially 32 tenants, and he keeps a on-site office. He doesn't live on-site, but he keeps an on-site office nearby.
Okay, well, it's Tuesday. What time is it?
We'll say it's 8 a.m.
Okay. Is he in office at this time?
Sure.
All right, well, I haven't researched it. I don't know what kind of monthly rent is common in Vegas.
I don't know either, but we'll find out. So, average rent for, so it says, just as an example, average rent for a place that's about 900 square feet is about $1,400.
Okay.
Do you feel like you would have a larger space than that?
No, probably not. Because I don't have extremely large reptiles. Like, my turtle and my snakes are small enough that they're just in, just in some enclosures, basically, essentially like on the bottom of a bookshelf. So I wouldn't need a huge place.
Your most affordable spots in Vegas right now are going to be Beverly Green. Average rent's about $1,100. If you're looking for something that's the most popular, that's probably going to be Mountain Edge, $1,700, and then Mountain Trails, Sun City, and the Hills are in the $2K and up for similarly sized locations.
Okay. Hold on one sec.
We're getting granular about the rent, and I feel like I need Destiny's price immediately.
I'm looking at something near my church. And just getting, looking at a floor plan really quick. Yeah, so $1,350.
Okay.
$1,350, $1,400, something like that. So I'll walk in, and I'll have cash on hand, I'm sure.
Sure.
So I'll check and see if I have anything paid currently going into October, and if not, I'll pay October plus some, just in case for November.
Okay. You step into Lucas Pryor's office. Pryor is a guy who's in his middle 40s. He's lived out in Las Vegas or the surrounding area for probably a good 80% of his life. His family, you think, comes from San Diego?
Okay. Good morning.
Hey. How can I help you?
Well, I just want to check my rent status. I know I'm paid through this month, but I don't know if I have anything going into next month yet or not.
He swivels over to the computer. He's wearing a palm tree shirt, not buttoned up, A-frame shirt underneath. He's got a palm tree necklace. He types in the computer for a second. No, I don't see anything pending.
Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and just throw. I'm not gonna throw the cash at him, right? I'm gonna put $1,800 on the table. Here's next month and a little bit forward in case I need it. $1,800.
He reaches over and takes the money. You planning on being late next month?
Not planning on it, but then again, I'm never planning on it, am I?
Make me a perception awareness roll.
Okay. I have dice for that.
That's good.
All right, so that's a 5 dice pool. And I have 2 successes.
So you are in the office there paying, and he's got his windows open. Very common in the early part of the day here for the windows to be open. The air conditioning's not on. He's trying to get a fresh breeze in here. And you hear a couple of motorcycles not too far from where you're at pull up nearby. He takes the money, counts it as quick as any pit boss might, and then puts it into a locked drawer. Your perceptions would also pick up that he's putting the money into that locked drawer fairly quickly.
Because maybe those people on motorcycles are going to be coming in here for something. I don't know this for sure, obviously, but I heard the motorcycles. And, all right. Are we all squared away?
Think so?
Okay. I'll see you later. And I will leave the office.
You leave the office. As you are passing back towards your place, you catch sight of 2 people, 1 man, 1 woman. One of the guys is dressed in jean shorts, what look like brown work boots, and a button-up short sleeve shirt. Looks like it's a Harley Davidson shirt.
Okay.
And there is another woman. There's a woman beside him, and she's probably no more than 20 years old, really stretching the 20. And she is dressed in what is essentially a halter top and jean cutoff shorts and effectively 4-inch heels.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She has 2-tone hair and a small purse that she's carrying.
I imagine don't recognize who this is.
No, you've never seen them before in your life.
Okay. So I'm going to move just far enough out of the way that it doesn't look like I'm like lingering.
Mhm.
But nearby enough that if there's some kind of legitimate trouble, I can help out the best I can. And I'm happy to make you a stealth roll if that's what you need from me.
Yeah, actually, if you're attempting to be covert and still perceive what's going on, then yeah, definitely stealth.
Okay. That's only one success.
Okay, so you have one standing success on a stealth roll. The two enter Lucas's office. They shut the door, and you hear a discussion begin. Now you're outside and you're trying to be stealthy, so I'll just ask: are you getting close enough to hear what's going on, or are you just trying to sort of perceive or look through the windows, or are you going to attempt to use any of your new gifts in a way that might allow you to perceive things?
No, for right now, I'm just gonna try to listen to what's going on. A lot of the time, if there's any potential, issues, whatever those issues are, a lot of it will happen verbally.
Mhm.
So
You do the thing that you always do probably in these types of situations. You remind yourself that you're not a police officer and that you can't actually arrest people without proper cause. But you get close enough and you see Lucas behind the desk talking to this man.
okay.
You can't see the woman who went in there. You don't know where she's at. They have a pretty direct exchange. It doesn't look aggressive. It looks more business.
Okay.
And then probably after about a minute or so, the man turns and you see him disappear from the window.
Oh,
And then the door to Lucas's office opens. And now I'm going to roll perception alertness.
that's fair.
And we're going to see if you get caught. So this guy in the Harley Davidson jacket or in Harley Davidson shirt walks down the path towards the block, and you're sort of crouched, I guess, in the bushes or trying to covert yourself in behind a part of the building. But where would you have placed yourself?
Probably as close to Lucas's office, like behind a box or in the bushes if there's bushes,
Okay.
Worst comes to worst, behind a wheelbarrow if that's the scene that we need for it.
No, there's no wheelbarrow per se. You get behind some bushes. This man that sort of gives off this, I guess he's a little scruffy looking. He gets on a bike and you hear the bike start up. He doesn't appear to have noticed you.
Okay. I'll go back to my apartment. Didn't seem like there was anything violent potentially happening, so just leave it as is.
You get up to go back to your apartment. You sort of turn and you begin to hear things coming from Lucas's office.
I don't know whether or not I want to peek into the window or not.
That's really a choice you have to make.
Yeah. I'm a Snoopy bitch. I kind of have to be. So yeah, I'm gonna look in the window.
Oh, there's where the lady went. You can only see the heels. Lucas is sort of kicked back in his chair, and that's the angle you have. He's kicked back in his chair at his office, and then he doesn't seem to be pointed at his computer or at the television. It's sort of at a diagonal angle, and then there are legs out the right side of the picture here, and they're wearing heels. That's what's going on. Oh.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that as it is, with probably the passing. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Before you do, though, obviously you're gonna probably decide to go back to your apartment. Before you do, I'd like you to make a perception alertness roll to see if you pick up on something here.
Other than a blowjob?
Other than a blowjob, yes.
Okay. And I have 2 with a 0, so I'm going to roll that again. That's the whole 2.
2 6s. Okay, 2 successes. So on the desk, between the computer, the keyboard, and like a cup of pens, you see that there is a small leather case. It's probably about 2 inches wide and 4 inches, 5 inches long. And it's like the flap of it is half open. And you can tell that at the top of this case, there are vials of something in it.
Well, you know what? That's none of my business.
Okay.
I don't know what it is offhand. I don't want to interrupt, this particular activity. And at least for right now, it's going to go on a back burner because pretty sure it would be not a good plan to bust into the office, grab this small leather case with vials inside of it and try to book it. I don't really want to compromise my living situation like that.
Of course not. Of course not. You get down from this position, unfortunately, having your auditory senses compromised by Lucas's finishing.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's just what everyone always wanted.
That's right.
And the money that I have left over is either going to go in a bank account. I don't need to buy new groceries because whatever happened with Mr. B refreshed everything in my fridge. So
yeah, that's a little strange.
Yeah, I don't need groceries right now, but
you head back to the condo a little bit unsettled, likely by some of the things that you've seen today. And it's not even noon.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Oliver, you arrive at 7 a.m. sharp back to the library. And it's very timely. Your driver, this man in the vest, Jonathan, is an exceedingly good driver. Almost to the point where you think he might have been a wheelman at some point. He parks just right out front of the library and says, okay, you've got about 60 seconds, so take the briefcase and head in. Good luck today.
What? Okay. What?
Remember, you're being interviewed today.
Oh, okay. I take the briefcase and I go in.
You take the briefcase and you head in. Upon getting into the library, you see the same sort of setup as before. You see John and Sherry sort of waiting at the front desk for you. They're both relatively smartly dressed in business clothes. There's sort of something to the clothes that John wears. They're very professorial. Like, they're a little dated. I mean, he could be an extra in an old episode of Charles in Charge. It's pretty bad.
Hey, Johnny and Sherry, what's up?
Good to see you, Oliver. Right this way. They walk you into the back library portion. There is a casually mumbled sentence that John Crescent uses here at the door, and then you're allowed to pass through it. We have an exceptional list, albeit small, an exceptional list of people for you to talk to today. I'm hoping that you're prepared to give us your best.
I always give my best.
Good. He gestures to the chairs that you sat in before. Let's just chat for a minute here, so you understand sort of what's happening. Now, none of them are going to expect you to know or understand the greater processes and formulae that we might deal with. There won't be any official testing yet. What they're going to try to do is get an idea of what you're good at. Okay?
Roger that.
So I have 3 members of the Order of Hermes here. And the first you'll start with is, House Titleist. He stands up. Right this way.
So, House Titus?
No, Titleist.
Oh,
You'll need to get the name pronunciation right. It's very important to them.
House Titleist. Gotcha.
A long and storied history, of course. Just don't look too far into their history. He sort of makes a funny, like a strange face.
Were they colonizers or something?
They haven't always been on the right side of every issue. But really, in many of the traditional terms, houses have to wake up. They have to adapt to the people who serve in them.
All right, bring on the Titleist.
They take you, he walks you toward a room. All right, Adam. It gets around to about noon and the tattoo shop gets back to you.
About damn time. Phil ain't got all day.
A guy named Alice gets back to you.
Do
you know what you're looking for? Do you know what?
Well, I got a couple of pieces already on my arms and on my back and stuff. I'm thinking something more connective, something to flow between them. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Okay.
Veins, roots, trees, river of life kind of a thing.
River of life kind of thing. Okay. What about like a nebula, like stars?
I love it. Space. Yeah, something like that. Let's do that.
Okay. Yeah, come by 2:00 and we'll get you set up. And the only thing that I tell folks is you got to sign the waiver and you can't come in here bombed out of your mind. I won't tattoo somebody like that.
Yeah, I can sign in whatever you got and don't worry about that too much. A lot of that doesn't seem to affect me so much, so no point in doing it. I'll see it too.
Great. The shop is filled with an amazing array of art. And the artists here do look like they produce high quality pieces. Adam might be even a little concerned about like how much it's going to cost.
So he approaches with a little trepidation. So, hey, listen, man, your art here is, Alice, your art is amazing. I got to say that everything I've seen here is fantastic. But as much as I want to get a piece here, do you got like a payment plan or something I can?
Oh yeah, hey man, don't worry about that. Listen, people come to me for all sorts of stuff. You can see even by noon, like there are 2 or 3 chairs that are like people are setting up and getting ready, and there's likely some 90s grunge being played in here. Yeah, it's not a problem. I mean, for what you're talking about, like just seeing it the piece, like probably a couple $100 we're fine. I'm not really doing anything more than just giving in some background, right? Different colors, stars, all that stuff is pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Adam goes to an ATM and pulls out like one of his last $200.
It sort of hurts you to see the balance come up on the receipt, and you're like, ooh.
Cool. But he slaps $100 down on the on the counter. Here, I can give you this right now. And I'll pay you the rest like within a couple of days.
Yeah, we can definitely get started. So he has you get prepared in the chair. And where are you getting the tattoo at?
I think he's going to start with he's going to start with the source of life, where it all pumps from the heart. He's going to start right over his heart and work out from there.
Fantastic. So he tells you that the whole thing is going to be free form. I'm just going to kind of go with the flow and try to match it up with where, your muscles and that sort of thing go, and we'll just see what happens. Okay.
Organic. Perfect.
I'll work for about an hour. Okay.
Sounds good. I'm just going to let my mind drift here while you do it. And he doesn't exactly disassociate when the needle kicks in, but he just kind of lets the pain and the endorphins wash over him and lets it fuel his mind as he's going over the things that he's encountered over the last couple of days.
Okay. I'm going to roll for your tattoo artist. There was a 1, it's true, but it just canceled a 10, so you're okay there.
Oh.
That happens. Okay, so that's not bad. I mean, it's not a masterpiece by any means, but 3 successes will afford you a beautiful beginning. And it almost looks like he takes space, right? And he adds at the edges that sort of stylized Japanese wave patterns on some of the edges. And so the space is actually flowing.
Lovely.
It looks fantastic.
Excellent. Adam loosely wraps it and thanks Alice profusely.
You got to come back, man. I got to keep working on it. I got a real feel for it now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you got spare in the chair, I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm happy to work on it tomorrow if you get some more cash.
I'll see what I can do.
All right. Well, listen, keep that film on it, and then let it sit on there until it's ready to come off. That's sort of the way the new stuff works.
This film's really getting in the way of me scratching it with this steak knife, though.
Yeah, don't scratch it.
No,
So Dante, around 10 or 11, you come back to consciousness. You've been turned into a playground for kids' toys. Several of these, you're not sure what they're calling them. They're figurines that are sort of hoisted upon you. And Miguel is sitting down, staring up at you while you sleep. And he seems to be having conversations between the characters.
I will continue to sleep while waiting for an opportune moment to emerge from my Gulliver's Travel-esque slumber to destroy whatever field of battle or adventure he is having with his action figures.
Okay. He gets to a climactic part of it, and then you feel a couple of the figurines move sort of like up. They walk up your leg, and they get to like near your collarbone, and there's these crashing climactic battles, and they fall out.
The beast awakens!
No!
I will grab him by one of his legs.
Yeah.
And then hoist him up. Now you pay the toll! I shake him.
You shake him.
Does anything come out?
Yeah, figurines and like Cheerios.
That'll have to do. I will turn him right side up. You having fun?
Yeah. I guess we're moving, huh?
Yeah, well, actually, you're going to stay here. We're all leaving, and we're taking all your action figures with us.
What?
Yeah, I didn't want to tell you, but we just don't love you anymore. I'm kidding. I pick him up. What do you want? Did you already eat breakfast? Your mom better made you breakfast.
Breakfast is done. Although, I don't know what it is, but Calliope's acting all weird.
Because she's in charge.
No, but she's She doesn't let me do anything now.
Oh,
She says I have to clean my room.
you do. You're gonna get a room. You're gonna have to share it with your mom, but you're gonna get a room.
Like our own room?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah, in my head, it looks really cool too. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm working on it. Look, I slept in pretty late, but I gotta go. Who's here? I will just kind of drag him football style into the rest of the apartment and see who's here.
So Estelle's here. His mom's here. Marcos is gone.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about it.
Stella, think fast. I throw her the child.
She pretty deftly scoops Miguel up. She has her phone in the other hand, unsurprisingly.
All right. Look, I got a bunch of errands to run today. You good here?
Oh yeah, I'll be fine.
Does she sound alert? Is there coffee? Did she make coffee?
Calliope made coffee. I just drank a bunch.
You drank coffee?
Yeah, I'm trying to get some things figured out. She keeps tapping on the phone.
Okay. Well, remember, you got time, but I got to go see somebody about a place. So, we got to be out of here within the next. What's the date? What the hell is the date? I don't even know.
It's the 26th.
Really? So we got like 4 or 5 days to move out. That'll be fine. Where's Calliope?
Classes.
Right. Okay, then I'll make sure I come back after she's done with practice.
Where are you going?
I gotta go get the place that I said we were gonna get. So I gotta go talk to my agent and see if they can help me get a place pretty fast. Then we gotta arrange for movers and get our shit out of here, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And my day is starting about 4 hours later than it normally does, because fuck it. I'm down to 1 job now. So I'm gonna go call my new boss.
Okay. She sits down at the kitchen table, which is cluttered with, like 5 people's things, and I'm trying to figure out how to deal with that, and Miguel playing at her feet.
Is there still coffee in the pot?
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, pour myself a thermos. And I'm going to, for the first morning in probably months, walk out my door, and I'm going to keep walking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to run. I'm not going to jog. I'm not going to sprint I'm going to walk. And I'm actually walking to, you said it's a Wednesday, Tuesday?
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. I forget these things.
It's okay.
I'm going to go see Bobby Farley, the stage vet guy. And I have that card for Susan. I don't have a phone. Dante doesn't have a phone.
Right.
So, and we don't have a landline. There's Estella's phone and then whatever burner phone Marcos happens to have at any given time, and nobody touches Calliope's phone. So
no.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk for a little while, take in the day, and head over to. If I know that Roberto Farley, if he is at a practice or if he's at home, I will head to either one.
Yeah, he's probably at a practice.
Okay.
Roberto's the guy.
Yeah, veteran of stage screen,
Yep.
former Olympian, stuntman,
Yep.
B-rolls. Yep.
Yeah, you bet.
The guy I wished I talked to yesterday.
He's not terribly hard to find.
Yeah.
He's at practice. He's mid-practice, but he's there.
I won't interrupt. I'll just stand on the sidelines and hard eye him. I'll, high-five people as they walk by.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is like me being out of practice, but I'm not in my warm-ups.
Yeah, which is a little suspect.
Yeah.
He gets to an act break and then sort of sees that you've been eyeing him and comes over, and he's like, you see him looking you up and down like, what's going on?
So what if I told you that an angel fell out of an Escalade and offered me a job that would pay $50,000 for the next 8 weeks?
Who are they having you blow?
I hand him the card.
He takes a look at it. Oh. All right. Yeah, Perkins. I heard about this lady.
They sought me out. They found me at Chips.
That's wild. They've been gobbling up talent left and right for the past couple weeks, trying to fill some show.
Well, they signed me last night.
Yeah?
Exclusive. So I'm done. I can't. I'm here, but I can't be here. You know.
Yeah, that's great. I hope that's what you were after.
Well, I'm just trying to look out for the family. But look, it all kind of came to me really, really fast. And I know I probably should have slept on it or something, or I already signed, right? So like, this is where we are now. If it was you, if you were me, what would you have done?
Did you have like anybody look at it, or?
Well, I read it over.
How much, like, how familiar are you with contracts and how they go?
Well, as far as I know, the scope of the contract it covers this particular project, which is 8 weeks. And then after that, it's representation. So these people are willing to operate as my agent moving forward. So if I want to come back to Cirque, or if I want to go back to Chips, they'd have to hire me through the agency.
Yeah, that sounds like exclusivity.
But they want me to play a lead role in this post-Sphere show thing. I feel like, but they've got to have more guys they're looking at. I don't know. I told myself that it was my only shot, so I took it.
Well, we can't fault you for that. It'll be tough missing you here. You obviously you're one of the better performers I've ever worked with.
Now stop. Look.
And when you get up into the vaunted, heights of the Palazzo or wherever it is that they'll put you, just remember that there's still little people down here working every day.
How could I forget? You all basically raised me.
I'm happy for you. I hope it's everything that you want.
I'm moving the family to Westgate.
Wow. Would they give you an advance?
Yeah.
Westgate's a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, but we got to get out of the end of the month's coming. I got to get him out of the apartment soon. I was kind of hoping that maybe either you knew somebody that might be able to help get us moved, or I can always reach out to. I don't want to start pulling on this thread yet. I wave the card around, and they said they'd help, but they want to make this happen. But I feel like can I just ask them to do this shit? Like, is that something I can do?
If they're your representing agency, you can let them know that you need to secure better accommodations. I'm sure that they can help. They're driving around in an Escalade. They have to have some money. Even to rent, those aren't cheap.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be kind of embarrassing. Can I borrow your phone?
Sure.
Yeah, I gotta figure that stuff out too.
Well, figure it out, and then
I just want to leave without saying goodbye.
No, this isn't goodbye.
Well, it's 2 months for me. They're putting me in some. They want me full-time training and focused on the project. So I don't even know if I'll see the light of day for a couple months.
That sphere is a real weird-looking thing.
It's the biggest thing I've ever seen.
It's all going to get cranked up in the next few days, so we'll all get to see it. Whatever it is.
Yeah, I just kind of grab him and give him a big hug.
He hugs you back. You'll be all right. Just try to stay grounded.
Fuck. All right, I gotta go get my shit out of my locker. I'll bring this right back.
Bring it right back.
As I head toward the locker room, I'll reach into my jacket and pull out Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is the last time you're going to probably eat here for a while, so make it count.
Sophie scurries out.
Yeah, I go to the locker room and I call the number.
It rings twice. You hear a relatively soft and welcoming voice One you've heard before, Susan Perkins. Susan Perkins?
I'm Miss Perkins. It's Dante. We met last night, or you talked last night.
Oh, yes, of course. How are you, Dante?
Honestly, over the moon. But I talked to my family last night, and everybody's on board. Look, I don't know how clear I was able to make it when we talked about the contract and stuff, but my family's pretty important to me. I want to get them out of the apartment they're in, and we only have a few days. And I want to get them to a place, maybe in Westgate or someplace like it, in the burbs. If you got to rent a house or a townhome or whatever, like I'm down. It just needs to be soon because the end of the month's coming.
Oh, no, of course. I understand. We do this for a lot of our clients, so it shouldn't be an issue. Westgate, do you have a preferred street?
No, I haven't even really looked at any listings. I was just going to head down there.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. You hear something like in her background, you hear finger snapping. Like you hear like
Okay.
in the background. We'll take care of the entire thing. What is this your phone number?
No, this is my buddy's phone.
Okay.
I'm at the shop cleaning out my locker right now.
I understand. Are you going back home today?
I mean, I'll go wherever I need to. How does this work?
Here's what I'm going to do. I want you to be back at your place by 5:00. I'm going to have a representative drop off a phone for you to use, so that way you have a way of communicating. It'll have some preloaded numbers to get a hold of staff here, that sort of thing. It's nothing super fancy. It's just a way for you to be able to keep contact with us.
Okay, great.
Okay. And then what I will do is I will work on finding a placement within Westgate, so that way you have space. Are there any specific concerns that the family needs to or you or the family need to have with any wheelchair accessibility or?
No, there's a kid. So it's four, technically 4 adults, but one staying on campus and a child. So I'm hoping to get a 4-bedroom.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, that should not be a problem at all.
And I want to make sure that, it's paid up basically through whatever the duration of this contract is and a little bit of overhead so that we have time. I just don't want them to have to worry about anything for a while.
No, I understand. Place it all with me. The agency and I will deal with it.
I mean, I don't know how you all found me, but I'm sure I'm
We are too. We need you working at your best when training starts. And so we need to make sure that these things are taken care of. I do have an upcoming appointment I need you to make tomorrow if you can.
Of course. Where and when?
I'll send it. The information will be on your phone. You'll be meeting a representative of ours to begin the lab work and testing.
Okay. Sure.
Just general blood labs and that sort of thing to make sure that everything checks out.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to, playing in the lab myself. I mean, the moment you said that I would get a chance to take a crack at my own supplementation, I don't think you understand who you're talking to. I dream about this shit. Sorry, stuff, ma'am.
It's fine, Dante. So just be back at your house by 5:00 and make sure you're physically there to take the phone when it arrives.
Understood.
Okay, great.
Bye.
Bye.
Hang up the phone.
You sort of reflexively hit the end button and have to deal with like having had another surreal interaction with this woman.
The fuck is going on, man? I clean out my locker as I'm kind of like humming to myself and like bouncing on the coffee plus just dopamine.
Absolutely. Oliver, you step into a room. It's got 3 or 4 different objects in it, but bereft of that, the room is really focused on a single thing, and that is a big circle in the middle. So the floors are nice and a nice wood tone. There is a desk at the far end, and there is a circle in the middle of it. And there's a man opposite you who's sort of staring out one of the library windows. This looks like maybe 17th, 18th century French architecture in here. Again, the room is bigger than you remember the library being on the outside. That's an effect that you have seen here before, so that does not so much affect you, but it feels like going into a totally different place. The man turns around. He's wearing a long brown leather coat, probably 3/4 length. He has long black and gray hair. He has glasses and a series of what look like gold rings around certain fingers. And he steps. When he turns around, he steps towards you, and he keeps that circle in the middle of the room between the two of you. Devereaux, is that French?
Yes, originally.
Well, Mr. Crescent says that you're a talented individual.
Well, I don't like to toot my own horn, but yes, I am.
Oh, let's be truthful, Oliver. You enjoy tooting your own horn.
That's true.
My name is Cristobal. He makes a gesture with his hand. And when he makes a gesture with his hand, you hear the movement of his fingers because the rings on his fingers make a chime sound. And the candles that sit sort of at the edge of this room ignite.
I thought when you did that kind of stuff, there was some kind of backlash.
Not in this room. This is a lesson for you. He begins walking towards you, but walking clockwise around the circle towards you. Cristobal Dinesto. Order Hermes. Banning House Titulus. When he walks towards you, Oliver, it feels like he's sizing you up. Like physically. We're very interested in your potential, Oliver. House Titulus has a wonderful tradition of being able to put exactly what it needs to bear on any situation, whether it be knowledge or power, as one are synonymous with the other. I understand that there might be some legal matters in your future. Is that true?
Yeah, there's some little hiccup in my recent past.
Just know that this is a situation that wouldn't necessarily be unknown to our house. Many of our members occasionally slide from one side of the law to the other. These things happen. We understand them. So, what do you know about yourself?
About myself?
Well, certainly, you've been part of a very interesting series of events already. I've come to understand from Mr. Crescent that there were several awakenings a few nights ago. That's fairly rare. Those that would call themselves Magus are few and far between.
Yeah, I've recently met one of the other ones that, what'd you call it, awakened?
Yes. Yes, they have a connection to phenomenal cosmic power. Fairly tiny forms.
In an itty-bitty living space?
One could say that, yes. So what do you know? What have you felt? What have you experienced?
Some of the electricity in the area I was in.
Yes, electricity, a formidable power. But a force like many of the other ones. For example, fire.
One of the fundamental forces of our world.
Indeed. And forces are fundamentally part of the Order of Hermes. It is what we're known for in many ways.
So all these different groups in this magical world have different specialities?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Traditions, as we would call them, are all focused generally in one area of expertise. And so the Order of Hermes specializes in the sphere of forces, amongst a few others. Forces are what we're known for, though. Myself, I quite enjoy many different spheres. Perhaps looking into the beyond, parting the veil and seeing spirits and ghosts.
Wait, are those real?
Of course. Of course. Next, you're going to ask me if Humpty Dumpty's real.
Is he?
No, of course not.
No.
It's a fiction.
Right. Well, you know, thought spirits and ghosts and mages were fiction too. So
We in-house titleists have had some differences within the order itself, but that's to be expected. Not everyone does their magic the same way, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, the desk. He points to the desk that has a single chair. If you would.
I take a seat.
He takes out from his pocket a relatively thick scroll. It has all of the vestiges and trappings of something you might see in a cartoon.
Are you kidding me with this?
Oh, no, I'm very serious. Scrolls are very important. Knowledge on them, very important. We're going to test your knowledge. I've heard that you enjoy puzzles. Mathematical ones.
Yes, I'm partial to mathematical puzzles.
Wonderful. So, he hands you the scroll. Complete them within the hour. I shall return.
Wunderbar.
He steps away from the table and out towards the door. When you check out the scroll, it is a series of mathematical questions in Greek.
Oh, great. I don't know Greek.
We'll leave you there. And actually, we'll leave the episode there as well. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Ascension of Babylon, our Mage, the Ascension Chronicle on the Old Ways podcast. We are greatly enjoying all of these little bits and tendrils as our young mages begin to experience more about the world around them. Thank you, and good night.